and welcome to the Carbitrage podcast, episode 117. I am Eric Berger, joined as always by my co-host Ryan Sinitsky. Hello.
Hi there.
I'm really good at picking the best possible moments to start this to make you look even worse.
You actually were way better than you could have been because 2 seconds ago I just had like a black lung cough.
Mm-hmm.
Still getting over.
Yeah, I really thought I was sitting next to Derek Zoolander. I went from Ben Stein yesterday to Derek
Zoolander. I'm getting
today.
better. I'm getting better. I have this stupid
like
summer cold. The worst kind of cold.
As opposed to
a winter cold. Which is like totally acceptable. Summer colds, like you want to be outside and doing stuff. Winter colds, you're just like, fuck, it's winter, I've got a cold, I'll do my normal thing of sit in my room all day.
He gets sick because I work with children and he doesn't have the immune system of
I've got all these multivitamins and bananas now. So healthy.
Yeah, now you're healthy. Yeah. Anyway, we have a guest.
We do?
Oh, yes. Hi. We have Darren.
Darren, thank you for finally making it. I'm glad your tire is apparently fixed now.
Yeah, man, I'm so sorry about everything. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make it. Nope, not gonna make it. I think I can make. What about this time? Oh, no, can't make it.
Your penance was 6 hours at Turbo Tim's, so I think that's okay.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I love Tim.
Bobby and Stevie.
Oh yeah, Bobby and Stevie are well.
Are they really named Bobby and Stevie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I mean you don't like Bobby and Steve's, that's normal, but like the kiddies.
And like I've never asked him like, is it related to Bobby and Steve's or?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh it is.
Oh yeah. They're not a fan of the people behind Bobby and Steve's mainly.
Okay.
There's a long story behind that, and
I can believe that.
I don't know.
No, there is no shop that's a fan of Bobby and Steve's.
No, I know, but like Tim Suggs has a story about this, and I don't know like how buddy you have to be with him to hear it. I think you just have to catch him when he's not busy, which is tough.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I know him pretty well. I'll have to hit him up next time I see him, which
definitely.
will probably be forever from now because I'm moving to Seattle.
Yes, you are.
Oh. I hear there's a lot of homeless people and needles on this.
And there's gonna be one more.
Yeah, that's absolutely. So I was looking for a place actually, and a friend of mine, I was kind of like venting to him like, oh man, this is super hard, and he sends me a link to Google reviews of the homeless camps in Seattle. Because there are so many of them that people are actually reviewing them on Google.
That's pretty stunning.
Yeah, it's
I have to ask, how were the reviews?
That's gentrification.
There was one that was like a solid 3.5 star that I was like, you know what, I would at least scope that out.
Like the cuisine is a bit subpar. Look, I'm gonna get a kerchief and a stick, and we're gonna try this. Hey Chief, someone's stealing your bag of crap.
Well,
Well, I'll be curious to hear vicariously, because Ryan had mentioned to me that you were moving out there.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you were at least lately into cars, so I'm more curious about the car scene out there. But I would also be curious to hear just how are these things that we hear about just like grossly overblown? Like, oh, Minnesota, everyone's like Fargo, they're chopping people up in wood chippers, and
I feel like there are a lot of things that are overblown. I mean, it's like because I've been a lot of places, and like I feel like a lot of things are sort of overblown. Particularly like I kind of feel a little bit bad saying this because I don't want to like ruin it, but there's this myth about Seattle about how much it rains there.
Yeah, it doesn't really.
And it does. That's
why
in the winter
things, though.
Yeah.
So it's like
Green's
in the winter here when it's 30 below and it warms up just enough to snow 1.5 feet and then it drops right back down to 30 below. It's just a nice 55 degrees and rainy in Seattle, and then the summers are nicer than ours. So
okay, that sounds like
cold
way better.
rain is way worse in my opinion than snow.
I don't have to shovel rain.
Yeah, and also cold rain doesn't rust your car out like salt and snow do.
Right.
Salt is something the people here do. It's not something the weather does.
Right.
That's true. But you don't have to shovel rain. He's got a really good point with that.
Yeah,
and it's not like you can tell them no on the salt.
Substantially reduced, though. Yeah,
the salt is there. Like cause and effect doesn't really matter.
That's why I drive an aluminum car now. It's fine. Whatever.
See, that's because my MO is usually like I have like 5 or 6 nice cars, and then I'll have this horrifying rusty shit box that I drive in the winter for 6 months out of the year. Like this
you
last
can
winter,
have a lot of fun in a shit box. Though.
Oh, absolutely! I mean, this last winter I drove an F-150 that I paid $100 for.
Yeah, that's
and
the winter beater. Yeah.
It was marvelous.
Yeah,
but like I'm kind of stoked to just like drive the cars I like year round and not care.
So you see, that's actually the thing is I feel like I've mastered the winter beater because
you've mastered the Bastion for sure.
Yes, I have. But whenever I buy a winter beater, I use it as a chance for me to buy a car I'm vaguely interested in. but not quite interested in enough for me to want to spend, say, $3,000 on it. So I get like instead of getting like an okay example for $3,000, I'll get like a downright bad example for like $500. Put a little bit of work into it, make it right, and then drive it through winter.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I've discovered that I really like the Celica Super. I really like the MR2. I super like the CA Accord. Not a fan at all.
Did you have a winter beater MR2?
Yes. An AW11 MR2.
It was just a general beater that was driven in the winter.
Okay.
That was I bought it as a winter beater.
I mean, that's pretty remarkable. Like, most people don't usually think like a mid-engine.
No, it actually did really, really well.
Okay,
yeah,
it did.
I buy it
Because all your weight's over the rear.
Yeah.
So like you don't
never get
really,
stuck.
Yeah, you don't really get stuck.
You also drove an MR2.
Yeah, I drove a ZZW30 all the way through high school with Yokohama Paradas on it through the winter. It was fine.
They have a great story.
I like those. I like those a lot. Those are good
driving in
cars.
a snowstorm with convertible top down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had snowed in at his house.
Anytime it was sunny and 30 or 40 degrees plus, the top was down.
I convinced him once during a blizzard when Edina was supposed to give us a day off, and they ended up not to drive there, but we were going to wear like full like ski gear with the top down.
Right on.
I think it was like sandstorm or something. But anyway,
that sounds right.
Yeah,
that thing had a really good heater.
Yeah, it worked surprisingly. I was
most convertibles do.
Yeah,
the
cars that are
heaters
engineered
also, like...
to be a convertible. Yes.
Yes.
Cars like the Boxster, where the heater's out of the 911, horrifying.
I can believe that.
So anyway,
should probably get onto the standard guest.
Okay.
I want to talk to you more about the other stuff.
We'll cover a lot of that with the standard questions.
Okay.
So
perfect.
We already established your name. You're doing really well.
Yeah.
Who are you? Like, why do we know you? And like, what's your thing with the cars?
We're 10 minutes in and we've barely gotten into.
We do that sometimes.
I tend to be quite distracting too. I apologize. So
that's fine.
No, it's totally okay. That's how our podcast
It's probably the giant cats behind us. Right?
Yeah.
So I sort of like, I don't know. I'll just talk about my history with cars in general.
Yeah, no, because we want to know that.
I've sort of dedicated my life to owning horrifying shit boxes. From the time I was 14 years old, when I was 14 years old, I'll go even further back than that. When I was 10 years old, my parents moved into like this new like housing development.
A double wide?
Triple wide.
Nice. Prefab.
But so this is important detail because we were like the third house in this new housing development.
Okay, all right.
And I was young. I was growing up. This was like 99, 2000-ish.
Sure.
And so I was playing a lot of Gran Turismo 2 at the time, like into cars, like from that aspect, like. And just something really, like, my brothers had always been into cars, like, my parents, the rest of my family really weren't, but, like, cars always sort of appealed to me. And so, I'm gonna bring this together here. And so, basically, as my neighbors were, like, arriving and building houses and stuff, I would be, like, the neighborhood kid that did, like, the bitch work of, like, oh, you're, like, planting a garden or, like, laying out your yard and shit. I'll just, like, shovel and, like, carry wheelbarrows full of dirt for you for, like, $20.
Sure.
And I did this for years until I was 14 years old. And bought my first car, which was a 1986 Mazda RX-7.
Yeah!
For $750 because it was 2004, and that's what an RX-7 cost.
Yep.
Fucking kill me now.
I know, right?
And unfortunately, I crashed that when I was 18 because I'm an idiot.
Well, you got 4 years of
But, like, the
running.
rotary thing is always, like... I know those of you listening at home can't see this.
Do you have a rotor?
Oh
my god, he has a rotor.
They'll see that.
You can see that.
He's got a mechanical burrito tattooed over his heart.
But so since then, I've kind of bought and sold dozens of weird random things, and because of that, I've like just sort of gotten to know people through various clubs and scenes. Like, I feel like a lot of the people I currently know in the car scene, I either know because of autocross, because I've autocrossed a lot the last few years, and also Minnesota Volvo Club.
Yeah.
Which is a weird, like, entry
Fairly
point.
active, really small club.
Yeah, it's a weirdly active
unfortunately,
club.
I'm not really, like, I got in a really interesting time. I'm not a part of the club at all anymore. I apologize to those of you MN Volvo folks listening at home, but I just don't...
Ducky and Shelby.
Yeah, I hate white blocks with a violent fucking burning passion. I use my one F-bomb. Remind me of that.
We trained him super well already. Yeah, white blocks are not good, but red blocks.
You're more of an old school.
I'm an old school kind of like everything guy.
Yeah, because you have a very Carbitrage taste in cars.
Yeah, the car that really like kind of set the tone, especially for like a lot of the people who currently know me, is my 1965 Volvo 122S Amazon.
That is a great car.
Which is actually the first time I ever went to Seattle was like 3.5 years ago to buy that car.
Mm.
I bought it in Seattle and then drove it down the whole West Coast, and then like up through and to Minnesota. But like, it's the kind of car that like people like stop you when you're getting gas, and it's like, what is that?
Yeah,
thing?
you don't see many Amazons.
Yeah.
Well, if you want like a weird old vintage car to do that in, you're really hard pressed to find something that's more well suited than a Volvo Amazon.
It's like
that was literally my
which is a
mindset.
sports car Amazon.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
it's either you're in a Volvo Amazon or a Volvo Amazon. Or a Volvo Amazon ladder frame chassis, which is called a duet.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, it's a great car, but I mean, I think that, and then after I bought that car, someone saw it. I posted it on Reddit actually,
Oh, really?
and then someone saw it and was like, "Hey, you should join MN Volvo." And so I joined like at the perfect time when like there were still a bunch of like really cool red block people and like a lot of not. I met you at an MN Volvo meet. You had your CRX at an MN Volvo meet.
Yeah, so I did. Yeah,
and that's how we
met.
met.
That's what it was. Is I wasn't interested in the white block stuff.
Yeah,
I like red blocks.
It was that weird period of time when it just like MN Volvo sucked a bunch of people in from a bunch of other scenes, and I ended up just meeting a ton of people that way.
Yeah,
and
so, yeah, it's kind of like with me, like with JNC and everything. It's not necessarily Japanese cars.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that like I really have a hard time giving a half of a shit about anything with a VG or a VQ engine.
The sound makes me cry.
Yeah.
The sound literally.
I have a really
not
hard
as bad as the VR6, but it's damn close.
Oh man, I like the VR6.
They sound exactly the same.
I have a really hard time with like any muscle car or any hypercar. But like if I'm at a car show with this full of Lamborghinis and Ferraris and like Vipers and like, you know, quintessential fuckboy cars, then I'm gonna end up running as fast as I can to the nearest Dodge Chevaux, like Jana literally did.
Hell yeah! Is that like the story of me? Is like
that's how everybody knows you.
Like everyone knows me as the woman running in heels to the closest Dodge Chevaux.
Past several Lamborghini Zeros.
I'm totally microcar.
Oh the pink Japanese micro.
But it's
that everybody thought I owned, by the way.
Yeah.
Which I still think is hilarious.
But it's one of those things. Is you have got a very Carbitrage-y sort of taste in cars where you prefer a car that is fun and good over what is cool. It's a car that's cool to
actually,
you because it's
I
actually
hate cars
awesome.
that are cool because then people want to talk to me about them. I'm like, leave me alone. This is my car. I like it. You don't need to like it.
You can do that with a cool car, by the way.
Yeah.
You can just walk away from people.
Well, that's what I've learned. Like,
Be
owning
really
an S2000
unapologetic.
for a while.
He finally has a cool car.
And like, you know, again, you know what? I'm not going to apologize. Fuck every car scene that I offend right now. Sorry, that's number 2. You can edit that out.
Are you kidding me?
I don't get along with S2000 people.
No, it's fine.
In
It's
general.
super hard.
Because you
I'm a Honda guy.
almost daily drive your.
Yeah, I did. My S2000 has 235,000 miles on it. Like, 1,000 miles. Yeah, I blew it up last year.
Oh, like piss jugs.
Yeah, well, a lot of people blow them up.
But yeah.
Yeah, the F20, as it turns out, just is kind of a random failure engine.
Yeah, it is what it is. But like, and you know, like people ruin them. People ruin those cars by like they lower them even more and they like put cheap suspension parts on them. Like Honda did such a good job with that car. Like I've driven like fully STR prepped like national championship competitive S2000, which is why I own an S2000 because I drove a really really good STR prepped one and I was like, wow, this is incredible. And then I drove a stock one and I was like, that's like actually almost as good. Like because like something like Miatas, for example, like I've driven like good prepped Miatas. The one in particular that I actually just got a chance to drive yesterday belongs to a friend of mine. Was like, oh, this is really good. But like I spent a year autocrossing a stock NB Miata, and the floppiness of those cars bothers me on a very fundamental level. And so that's what I was
floppy.
Yeah, was worried about with the S2000 is like, you know, is a stock one gonna be
the NB? All right, so was the NB the only Miata you ever drove?
No, I've autocrossed and driven on the street NAs, NBs, and NDs.
Yeah, because the NB, I hate the NB as well.
Really?
I really like I like the NA. I think
the NA still suffers from an aggressive amount of floppiness.
I was actually gonna say
I've never gotten into a Miata and been like, wow, this cowl shake's really bad.
But no,
it's clearly a car that was designed to be a convertible.
No, I actually like the NA because of the floppiness.
Right.
Because the NA, what they were doing is they try to make a British Roadster, which I love. Like,
no,
you give me a Triumph TR3, like, I'm over the moon.
Yeah.
And the NA Miata is an attainable British sports car that's reasonable to own.
But it doesn't
sucks.
have the character. Like, the thing...
You're right.
The thing that makes the British Roadsters good is the fact that they suck.
No, that is true. That is absolutely true. But see, that's the thing is, I like the NA. I like the NA because it gets a lot of people to go, I love this car. And I'm like,
yeah,
then I've got a car for you. Like,
no, that's totally fine.
Go drive a Triumph Spitfire. It will be the exact same thing. And you have a lot of time to think about the similarities while you're waiting for a tow truck on the side of 494.
Yeah, no,
like,
I
it's
totally
gonna be great.
feel that. I totally feel
or
that.
you can have a British Roadster like my mom's cousin does, and it was underneath boxes in his garage for the longest time.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you know what, I kind of want to fix it up again. And then he
Right,
did.
and it's basically a tractor drivetrain, so you spend like 6 hours working on it, rebuilding the carbs, and then it runs again.
I'm like, yeah, great, it's a Morris 4-cylinder. Actually, it's still totally fine. It just needed a new carburetor.
We've actually,
and some points.
At my main place of work, Good Karma, we've gotten 2 MGs, Triumphs. No, actually both MGs. Roadworthy again, even though we're a Volkswagen shop. That doesn't make sense to me. Whatever.
I mean, yeah.
But I will.
You're probably cheaper than the other shop. That
probably,
works on them,
but
so.
a lot cheaper than quality coaches.
Right,
even though
that's
they're really, really, really good.
They are very good.
Yeah.
Well,
but
I've bought parts from them before. I've
Yeah.
never had them work on anything. But
yeah, me too. We've had to buy parts from. They're the only people in town with MG parts.
Right. Well, like I needed it because my Amazon has SU carburetors.
Yeah, it does,
SU
yeah.
carburetors, and I'm like, well, I got to rebuild these carbs. Oh, they're on every British car ever. I guess I'll go to the shop that works on British cars and buy parts.
You know what
Yeah.
SU stands for, right?
Skinner's Union.
Yeah, you know they're just like they're modified meat packaging.
Yeah.
Like tools. Yeah.
The SU. I could go on a long time about how the SU carb is the greatest in the ever designed.
Yeah,
But
no, it's
I
a
won't.
great
I
carburetor.
will not,
It is a
'cause-
kick-ass carburetor.
Yeah, and it was designed in like 1919.
Yeah, they were prehistoric and they work great. Like
It
they're
must have
awesome.
just been a cost thing. I don't understand otherwise why they weren't on more vehicles.
I have no idea.
Emissions. Basically, they were on pretty much everything up through the 60s, and then the emissions thing happened, and you couldn't do so. Like the 240Z is a good example of this.
Yeah.
Because like in 1969 through 72, like the first few years,
The 240Z.
the round tops,
The
yeah.
240, yeah.
and then in 73, before the 260Z happened,
Oh, really?
the 73
73's
240Z got the flat top carbs,
And that
which were
that
an
was the
SU
lever,
that
yeah.
they tried to make work with emissions and failed catastrophically.
Yeah.
And basically, like, the SU, because it's so simple, it doesn't let you control the things that you need to control for emissions.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so everybody moved away from it and started doing this wonky other shit. And that's how carburetors got a bad name, is literally 70s emissions carbs.
Oh yeah, they're
Pre-70s,
awful.
all carburetors are wonderful.
Yes, no, that's
So-
absolutely true. Because
Yeah.
I've only worked on like Rochester updrafts, and I can't say
Oh.
I thoroughly enjoyed my experience with those.
wait, what?
Yeah.
Updraft.
Interesting.
Like pre-war.
Aircraft tug. Yeah.
Okay,
Gotcha.
I was saying,
that's a
that's-
little different
Oh
deal.
yeah, because you work on very interesting things.
I
at
work on some really random shit. Yeah.
That's
so
fair. I respect that.
And it does work. The thing runs kinda, but it's no thank you. But I'm used to seeing, I think, well, yeah, just Strombergs from later eras. So I don't know. And then just the really horrible ones from the Range Rovers and the 3.5 Rover V8.
Oh,
from
no,
the
no, no, no.
70s and
Sure.
things
Those
like
are-
that. What were
Except,
those?
except
Those
the
are
older
terrible.
ones, like because I don't know if we ever. I think we got some of those here, like the Rover V8s that had like the crazy like X-shaped like
Yes.
two SUs
Yeah.
like facing down into
Yeah.
the. Like those are pretty sick. I like
We
them,
actually
but-
we
They
did get
look
those.
cool,
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, and I mean the problem is they're bolted to a Rover V8. There's only so much you can do at that point.
Yeah, it's gonna suck.
TBR figured what you can do with those engines. It was fine. But back in the day with period stuff, not as good.
Well, there's a reason Oldsmobile kind of let the turbo aluminum 4-cylinder or a V8 die when they did.
Yeah.
And then sold it to Rover because Rover's only manufacturer dumb enough to actually build it.
Like, yeah, dude, it's good.
Right.
And it's like
Well,
really
it's-
cheap to make, and yeah.
Well, and people are driving around England. England's a lot smaller than the U.S., so people put
If you
12
break-
miles on it a year, so
Well, not
it'll
only that,
take
if
longer
you-
to blow up.
Right.
If you break down, you've got a lot shorter of a walk. And you're
That's
like,
true, yeah.
Just a
You're-
lovely walk through the Welsh countryside.
yeah, it's a lot better to walk through. England's some good walking country.
Alright, that's
Hey,
enough autism for Carbitrage.
Well, hang on one second.
No, that's enough
Pause,
autism
no,
for
1 second.
Carbitrage.
I need to finish my point. I started.
So you mentioned the Amazon. What
Yes.
else do you have for current project cars?
Current project cars. So, the Amazon obviously is an ongoing project, just keeping that thing running. I have an 85 740 turbo.
Yes.
Okay.
And so that, I bought
Volvo
that also in
740.
Seattle.
We should say Volvo.
Volvo 740, that's right.
Yeah.
I've had that happen once. Like BMW, I forget that the BMW 740 is even a thing. I'm not a BMW
Yeah,
guy.
Yeah, nobody wants
745
it.
the era actually was offered with the turbo. 740 never was.
Yeah.
That could be confusing.
But yeah, so I was actually looking for something completely different at the time, and I
What were
was
you
just-
looking for?
A BMW 740?
No,
Okay.
I was actually really set on either buying an FJ60 or like a second gen 4Runner. But
Ooh,
I
those
just,
are
I just
all good
casually,
decisions.
yeah.
Actually,
and
every one of those
will
cars-
happen at some point.
Every one of those cars are not bad.
Yeah.
Actually.
It's all
But you
about
know,
the
I was
FJ
just
Cruiser.
casually browsing
Even
Seattle
the 4Runner,
Craigslist to
first
say-
gen 4Runner with the removable hardtop.
They're cool, but I
That's
would
the
never buy
first
a
gen
first or
4Runner.
second gen.
But then also the FJ60 though is the 80s one, the really sexy one.
Those
Yeah.
are cool as long as you have to get the carb ones, you get the manual, because all the fuelies
Right.
are
Well,
autos.
the problem, like, I could go. The problem is like, I kind of gave up on those because I don't want to pay that much money for a vehicle that bad.
Yep.
It's
Like
that.
the problem is
Yeah.
like the 2F is just a horseshit engine regardless.
It's
It will
really
never be good.
underpowered, like a lot.
And so that's the problem, right? It's underpowered,
Really
and it's
underpowered.
unreliable,
Yep.
and like it's expensive.
I was
It's
at a Land
expensive to buy
Cruiser one
parts.
time with a 3F, and I'm like, I almost bought it.
Yeah.
Because it's a cool vehicle, but then that engine's not good. And the 3F
Yeah.
was a lot better than the 2F.
Right. And so,
So-
like that's one like I'm usually pretty anti V8 swap, but that's a case of like this stock engine is a toilet.
Yeah.
So
And like a messy one, too.
Yeah.
Not like a game changer bidet. No, this
yeah,
is-
no, like this is like one of your neighbor's toilets.
Oh.
Oh.
No, thank
Well,
you.
all
I've
right,
seen them. I shop
hang on.
them.
Okay, this makes a lot of sense because when they started making the Toyota F Series engine, it came out in
You're
1955.
toy, I swear to God, I thought I was going to say toilet.
Yeah, I know. I almost I had
Yeah.
to stop myself. That engine came out in 1955. Like, all right, I'll give him some. I'll give
it's
you some
fine for the
leniency.
tech, but like it should be better. Like it should be better for how much I would have to pay for the vehicle.
Yeah.
Like you can pay $10,000 for an FJ60, that's still a total pile of garbage.
So
Yeah.
And I'm into buying vehicles that are terrible, but I'm not into paying $10,000 for them.
For terrible.
basically, what that was is an updated version of a Chevy Stovebolt
Mhm.
6.
Well, that's
'cause
why
that-
it sucks.
Yeah, like so. Really, even though it's an engine from 1955, it's actually an engine from 1929.
2J swap it.
Yeah.
All good.
I'd
Or
be into
save
that.
yourself the money and 1GZ swap it, which is
I don't know if that would fit in the frame rails of an FJ60.
totally
Those are pretty narrow.
60. Yeah, you can probably fit that.
Well, if there's,
whatever.
if there's
If
a
you put a
motivation,
V8
it's body
if you-
upgrade.
if you
So
put
it's-
a
hammer,
V8
you're
Alright,
good to
alright,
go.
If you
alright.
put a V8 in it, you
Okay.
can put a V12
Yeah,
in
but
it.
we're talking OHV V8,
Alright.
and we're talking 4-cam V12.
Yeah.
So
That's a
it's
yeah,
probably okay. 'cause
okay.
most of those are 60 degree. Anyway, okay, fine. So you've got the 740 turbo.
Yes, which I still want to point out. So the reason I own that 740 is like I never really foresaw myself owning one, but this is a unicorn. So
yes, it is.
it's so turbo, manual,
Good.
wagon,
Very fine.
Yep.
And-
And it gets better.
white with red interior.
Very fine.
Leather, right?
That
Red leather interior. Boy.
I'm
It's a good- it's a
I'm a
good car.
huge manual wagon enthusiast. So
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
a huge
Appreciate this.
red leather interior
Me too.
enthusiast
As
as
long
well.
as it's not cracked. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
a red
good,
leather
a good
interior
condition red
is
leather
like-
interior is one of my not
That's-
even guilty pleasures, just regular
Yeah.
pleasures.
Yep.
I'm totally out of the closet about liking red leather. Like
why does anybody have to be ashamed about
there's
that?
nothing to be
Like,
ashamed of. Like I proselytize that
2019,
everywhere.
we
I'm
can
coming
we can
out
be-
in favor of red leather interiors.
I think everyone is, and if they aren't, they're wrong.
That's
No,
definitely not.
everybody either says they like red leather interiors or they're in the closet about it. It's
Yeah.
nobody actually actively goes, no, that Ferrari 250 California does not look good with a red leather interior. no, get that Porsche 356 out of there.
Like-
And no, that 911 really needs to take a hike. Like, all those cars have red leather interiors. They all look fucking fantastic.
Now I'm thinking about cars I own that have interiors that aren't red, and I think about them in red. And
Yeah,
it's all
it-
good.
every
Yeah,
single
imagine
one.
a Model S with red interior.
Imagine
Oh,
an
absolutely
E30 M3 with a red leather interior.
That I've actually seen.
Or like,
So-
or like the 190 with the red leather
Oh,
that
yeah,
you used
yeah,
to
yeah.
have. Like, that would have been perfect.
Yeah, the Cosworth seats were never offered in anything except black, but it would be better in red, objectively. Okay, so you only have 2 project vehicles?
No,
that can't
well,
be true.
2. Okay, so do you only care about the project vehicles?
No, what else
we
do you
care
know?
about all of
We
them.
care about all
So
the
I've
vehicles.
got an S2000. I've alluded to that I bought the shittiest S2000 in the country at the time.
AP1?
Oh yeah,
Oh, of course, yeah.
but
I
yeah,
prefer the AP1, I was just asking.
I love the AP1 because the AP1 is aggressive.
Yes, it
Like
is.
it revs higher. Like it doesn't have much torque.
And it's
like it has
homicidal,
the,
real suspension, sway bar
yeah, like the
setup.
rear suspension like actively wants to kill you at
Yep.
all times.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
And so this is kind of my thing about the S2000 is so like they have staggered tires, right? Like 205s up front, 225 to the back. And I autocross it, and I wanted more grip. Like so I went to 225 square, and then I put a giant front sway bar on it.
Mm-hmm.
I paid more for that sway bar than some of the other vehicles that I've owned. Even like not just the $100 F-150. Like I bought actual functional vehicles for less than the price of that sway bar. But now the thing is like perfectly balanced, and like I just beat the shit out of it 100% of the time, and don't feel bad about it. And it's like it's the magical shitbox.
Mhm.
Like it's got some body damage on it. Like it's blue with the blue interior. So I originally wanted a white with red interior S2000.
Can we talk about how blue interiors do not hold up the same way red does?
Quintessentially 2000.
Oh
I
yeah.
can think of like the S2000, the 996 Porsche,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the Z3M. That's it.
Yeah. Well, so like, if you see blue
Or in
interiors,
the M5, I guess. Oh.
like they were really really huge. If you ever want to get like a smoking deal,
My Turbo Diesel 190 came with a blue interior.
yeah. If you ever
That's
want
sick. That's awesome.
if you ever want to
Just
get
swapped
like a
the black
smoking
Cosworth
deal
seats.
on a 3rd gen Supra, you get the blue interior Supra
Mm-hmm.
because that would just tanks the value hardcore. And then you just go find another one in a junkyard with like tan or beige or stone or any
tan
other
interior,
Red,
man.
off
red
green.
interior.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
yellow, like any other color.
We're not
And it would
talking
be
about
worth
wind
more.
speed. We're not doing yellow. Yellow is a no for me, dog.
Man, you ever seen an NSX with a yellow interior?
No.
Or the
That's
EG
pretty
Civic
sick.
had a yellow tweed interior option.
That I did not know.
Yeah,
not
that's
on
Japan
that.
only, but
Okay.
they actually looked really dope.
Okay, S2000.
Yeah, so it does.
Red
it
block
does.
Volvo.
Then I have a Fiat 500 Abarth.
Hell yeah. Good.
Great car. I did not know you. I forgot you.
No, we met him
Yeah.
when he had the 500
Yeah.
bar.
Okay.
Yeah, I never drive it. I bought it like 5
No, you
years
still
ago.
have
and
it.
It has like 20,000 miles
Okay.
on it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a wonderful
I'm not
car.
talking about the cars I've sold. And then, I have a mystery project that I'm not going to tell you guys about.
A mystery
Douche.
project.
What?
Is it rear-wheel drive?
It is.
Is it old?
I've probably talked to you about it before, but you're not allowed to guess.
Probably
again.
forgotten.
Yeah.
So don't worry. It's probably rear-wheel drive and probably old and probably has some interesting interior color.
Boo.
Unfortunately, it doesn't, but it will. Soon.
Boo,
Okay.
secrecy.
Yes,
Have
no,
to tell me after
you will
the
learn in
record
good time.
then.
Unfortunately, that one is not coming with me to Seattle, yet.
Yet you're
But-
good at running here.
But
and
so
then-
this is like I've owned that car for 11 years, and it's been kind
Okay.
of like a personal like frustration point of the fact that like every year like I tell myself like this is the year I'm gonna do something.
And
with
it's
this
not
car.
gonna. that's
And
not
then I buy
happens.
like a dozen more cars instead.
That
and
is
so-
my EF Civic. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my EF Civic.
But
Yep.
so
That's
we'll
just
get
me
there.
on Craigslist.
We'll get there. So I'm down to 5 vehicles right now.
I think I heard about 3. Do you still have the F-150?
No, I got rid of the F-150. So the 5 are the Mystery Project, the Fiat, the S2000, the 740, and the Amazon are the vehicles
Oh,
that
right.
I currently have.
I don't know
Yes.
why I forgot about the amazing
You
Amazon.
claim
That's
to be
a-
autistic, but you're really bad at counting.
Maybe I'm Asperger's though. I don't know. I'm definitely deficient in some methods.
Um,
Alright.
So I know the answer to this, but I need to ask it. Are you fast car slow or slow car fast? There is a correct answer.
Yeah, no, I know there's a correct answer. And so I can't even give a bullshit answer to this. Like slow car fast.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah,
Thank
good,
you.
that's
Yeah.
correct.
Like,
Because all
I
right,
mean,
Let me
just
make
look at
this
the
box
things I
gray
own.
real quick.
we had one person ever, Tyler from
MNC.
MNC ampersand C,
Ah,
that
yes.
said fast car slow. And
No,
we
he said
told-
fast car fast, and we told
Yeah,
him that's the
that's
wong
not-
answer.
that's not
We'll
the
try
answer.
it
Right.
again.
Yeah.
And then you said fast car slow.
Yeah.
And then from there on out, like,
Right. Because, it's more important to be seen driving a baller car than it is to actually have fun with your vehicle.
Yeah, exactly. See? And this is,
Yeah.
So this is why I want
This is really fundamentally why any of us do this, is just for the Instagram points.
Yeah, exactly.
Reddit karma.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I gave up on Reddit because I wasn't very good at it.
I've got my...
I wasn't good at it until I bought a Ferrari. and an E30 M3 and an 856 speed and...
I wasn't good at it. You should get a sticker that says that.
I wasn't good at Reddit until I bought a Ferrari.
You should totally put that on a
Everyone
Ferrari.
thinks this is your dad's, by the
Oh,
way.
that's why I don't use it.
Oh yeah, this is a great story. You ever heard this?
I
The first time he took his
First time
Ferrari.
I took it to a car show. I took it to Cars and Coffee at the Chanhassen Motorplex.
Okay, yeah.
Where I now have a unit, but this was probably 4 or 5 years ago. I'm like, I'm not really... I do not want to be seen in this car. I just want to go enjoy it. So I took it to a show because I was browbeat by my friends or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Drove in, parked in the BMW section with all my peeps. On the way out, like, every conversation I could hear was like, oh, daddy's money, like this and that. Dude, go fuck yourself, okay? I'm like, I'm so done. The fact that you are the poor and can't afford nice things. And I work a lot and have this now and did the engine myself because I had to.
It was
I mean,
really hilarious.
And also getting yelled at by moms doing the speed limit.
Oh yeah, I was also doing 27 miles an hour in first gear through a neighborhood and just got this lady ran down her front yard into the street and I just drove right around her. She's like, slow down! I'm like, doing 27!
I will never understand people like that.
Yeah, so
people
if you ever want a terrible
change around you in a 355.
If you ever want a terrible ownership experience and to like know what it's like to be like really just like the 1% without actually being the 1%, buy an old Ferrari. And you will absolutely get that full experience. Like it's really humbling.
I came really close to doing that.
Was it like a 400i or something?
decision.
No, so it was a 308 actually. So did you see the black one with red interior on Jalopnik recently?
No. However, that is Jana's color.
I found that before fucking Jalopnik did. So it was in Seattle.
Jalopnik found it.
Yeah, and they featured on their fucking crack pipe nice price thing, and because I was planning on going out because I went out there a few weeks ago to look for houses and everything. And I was going to go look at it at that time. And then they featured it in that stupid article, and then it sold.
Like immediately, yeah.
Is a direct parallel
to our next question, actually.
The second next, but we'll move it around.
We're gonna make this the next question.
Because I, too, missed out on a cheap Ferrari in California.
Well, in the West Coast, because California's not Seattle, but okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
We call it the Mondial Challenge.
Okay.
It's a great thing.
This is a really good litmus test of figuring out what you're into as a car enthusiast and how creative you are.
Randomly went out to San Diego 2 years ago, and I ended up having a bunch of friends out there. So I was out at a bar one night, and this friend of mine who was even worse into like weird, just terrible projects than I am, had local Craigslist open on his phone in this bar.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "Hey man, check this out." Slides the phone over to me. It is a 1984 hardtop Mondial, blue on black with Speedline wheels with no drivetrain in it for $6,500. I'm like, ooh, I really want that. It's like, if I buy this, do you have a place where I can keep it until I can bring it back? He's like, yeah, absolutely. So I fly home, get back on Craigslist, it's gone.
Oh,
so,
man.
This was right around the time that Carbitrage, at least in thought, kind of came to be. So
this is the thing that started Carbitrage.
Pretty much.
Really?
It was just like,
this
we were sitting
conversation,
here for a Laserdisc night.
This conversation
and
was
it's
actually
like,
the origin,
Yeah.
Okay.
So what we're doing with this basically is, say you did get that car.
Yep.
Our question is, what drivetrain do you put in it that has more than or has the same as 240 horsepower, about the same as the QV motor.
Okay.
Does not cut any sheet metal. Is a commercially available manual transaxle. It has to be a transverse manual transaxle.
Either it comes as a manual, or you can get like
could
an
use
adapter plate.
I mean, because like adapters are like there's so many people that make adapters
But
for
like
everything
just
and
commercially,
everything.
like you can just go on a website and just
It
get
needs to be a thing that exists. It can't just be like, oh, you could totally do that.
Like I know
Okay,
some guy in
okay.
Waverly
So-
that can do this.
Yeah. So can I Google like to try and find an adapter?
Yeah, you
Like,
totally
right now?
can.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so
we
while,
can do the other question first. I
while you're doing that, I'll kind of give you what some other examples are. First off, no LS swaps. They don't
No,
exist. Okay,
You
cool.
know who you're talking to.
I know,
probably.
but I have to say this.
I already got 2 people to say LS for, so we're
the-
done with that one.
The Honda K series is retired because everybody defaults to that.
Yep.
Oh, it's gonna be a lot weirder for me.
I'm so
don't-
excited for
But
this.
we'll go over a couple of the really good. Actually, you do yours first. I'll do
Mine,
mine, then we'll go over
mine
the weird
was
ones.
a 12A Mazda rotary
Oh,
with
I hate you.
a street port, a Holly Dominator carburetor, and a Toyota AE101 transmission with an adapter plate that's commercially available from a shop in Puerto Rico.
Good.
That
Thank
actually
you.
does
You
it.
answered my
So there you
question
go.
for me.
Perfect. So you can just say 13B and just make it better.
No, non-turbo 20B.
Ah, perfect. That's even
a
better.
three-rotor?
That's a three-rotor.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
actually
three-rotor-
that's
three-rotor
280
without the
horsepower.
turbo.
That's
Yeah.
280 horsepower. It'll sound
Well-
the exact same. Yeah.
I mean, so it's 280 with the turbo, which is a conservative estimate. But I mean, like, can I touch the internals of it?
Yeah, totally.
Of course.
Well, I said
yeah.
peripheral.
So
or-
I mean, I would
said
like so a
street port.
20B with a mild port, non-turbo, will make close to 300.
Yeah, all day.
And it'll run like because I personally dislike turbochargers. I own a couple cars with them,
Yeah.
and they're hilarious for turbo reasons. But like,
Yeah.
as far as good cars go, like I don't think a turbocharger makes.
I
a
just
good
think
car.
I think it's a cop out.
And
It's
well,
a
I like superchargers. I just like turbos are fun because they make fun noises and like that sensation of like woo is fun.
I love turbo lag.
yeah,
Yeah,
I really,
it's fun.
really.
It's totally fun.
I
love
and-
starting every gear foot on the floor and then ending up not.
I
on the
want
floor.
Right.
I want the least just the least efficient turbocharger. Like I want a 930 turbo.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like that amount of
man,
lag.
an early 4-speed
Just
930, so bad.
Nothing,
Yeah, like,
nothing,
any, like,
nothing.
80s turbos
I'm
will
gonna
get
die.
you there.
Yeah,
But
like my
Even my
Subaru's like that.
190E, I mean,
Yeah.
it had a turbo this size and a 2.5-liter engine. I didn't get boosted until like almost 4,000 RPM.
Yeah, my Subaru. It
I
was
was like, this is pretty bad.
my Subaru went from I'm not even joking 75 horsepower to 111 between 3,000 and 3,100 RPM, and it is
Yep.
noticeable because you are all over the highway with that giant jump in power.
Right.
Which
But
is
basically, like, moral of the story, like, I just, like, non-turbo to me is, like, it's snappy and responsive, and, like, if I was going to actually make something good, like, that's why I think the S2000 is so good, because,
Yeah,
like,
'cause they
the
made it
power is
non-turbo,
just, as
yeah.
long as you're above 6,000 RPM, like, the power is just there.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, it is exactly that. That is the essence of power.
yeah.
Speaking of superchargers, my answer.
Yes, let's hear it.
Yeah, his answer's hilarious too.
It's such like a vanilla
Presumably
paste
because
answer.
this would have been your actual plan had you purchased
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
thing.
okay.
Yeah.
So Toyota 3MZFE, so Sienna Camry 3.3 whatever, but the 3-liter.
in Jana's van.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sienna
Okay.
3.3. Sold like 2003 to 2006, whatever the hell it was. And then the 96 to 2001 3-liter TRD offered a supercharger for it.
Oh,
So
sick.
It's an Eaton M45, so it's tiny, but like it'd be
Yeah.
fine.
No, I mean, like, every little bit helps.
So I'm gonna
Yeah.
bolt that onto this 3.3 because it fits,
Mhm.
and then run a Solara 5-speed box on it and like 400 horsepower. It'll be
Yeah.
turnkey reliable, and it's way lighter than the original.
That sounds awesome.
These are
It's
all
not at all
wonderful.
interesting, but it would be really good.
No, that's a
Dog,
super
that's
interesting.
pretty interesting. Like,
That's like that.
yeah,
in
man.
a
I
rotary
stuffed
car.
this minivan engine into this Ferrari. Like,
Also,
that's
I took an
pretty
old
interesting.
Solara supercharger
Yeah.
I found.
Well,
Wait,
not,
what?
Not only that, like if you post that on Instagram or something, there's gonna be some weirdo dude from like Japan who's like the world's biggest Mitsuoka Arishi fan, and be like, "Dude, somebody made a really good-looking Mitsuoka Arishi." If you can bring up a picture of what an Arishi looks like.
I could. Well, on the stream.
Okay, here I'll bring it up for Darren personally on my
Okay,
cell phone.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Because
Thank
this
you.
is something you really have to see with your eyes.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm all about like the really weird swaps. I mean, I'm still trying to find that 4-door E36 M3, a nice one, just so I can rip the S52 out of it and put a twin turbo Ford flathead V8 into it.
Would you potentially put the Elements old engine into it?
No, that's going either
This
in my
is
2002 or
literally
Hyundai.
that is a
Whoa.
Japanese.
Oh yeah, sorry.
That
the
is
couch
actually
It's
there.
a hole in the couch.
Yeah, this is actually a Japanese supercar. It powered
Wow,
by
it-
a
it-
Toyota 3.3.
It literally looks like it's out of an anime.
It really does, yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
that's
it's-
remarkable.
I will. It's worth it.
Yeah, that
so
car
weird.
that is the worst looking car of all time. But yeah, no,
Love
the
it. Love it. It's so
Mitsuoka, the whole brand, like, everything they've ever made is just like the least aesthetically pleasing variant of a vehicle that you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh God, they're all
good to be
bad.
back,
Shouts of,
actually.
oh no.
Oh God, it's got a body kit on it and everything. Ew.
It could just as well not.
Yeah, you
I
really
mean,
can't
that
tell.
body kit literally kind of looks like an Ed Hardy t-shirt in car form. Like,
So you killed Ryan.
Yes! That's what this is. Ed Hardy T-shirt in car form is so bad.
Dude, it looks like if you made a regular like veil side kit from the early 2000s out of cheese, and then you left it in the sunshine for just like a couple days too long.
Oh,
And then it turned
God.
in like the cheese spoiler drooped, and like all the rest of it started to like mold weirdly. And they get the gas bubbles and it collapses. So
That's exactly what that looks
it's a
like.
veil. It's a cheese veil side kit.
The cheese side.
A cheese side kit.
But yeah, that's what Mitsuoka Arishi looks like. It is just a dreadful looking
It is
car.
not-
that is terrific. I
when
am
Top Gear drove one of these,
happy
it was
that
like,
that exists. But
Yeah,
my
like
God.
it is really just the worst possible
That
car.
car will teach you how to swallow your own vomit.
Yeah, that car is. I really cannot wait another 10 years for that to be legal for import. 'Cause I will
Dude,
absolutely.
yeah.
You can import that after I get my Avon time.
I will absolutely import this. And the beautiful thing is, everything's easy to live with because it's just a Toyota Sienna. That's all it is
Yeah.
mechanically. Is
Buddy!
it isn't Toyota Sienna.
Hi, Modi.
Cat has arrived.
Oh, good boy. That was well worth it. Okay, alright. So now that you're about to leave the Minnesota car community,
Yeah.
you'd mentioned the Volvo community is like a community that you potentially like the most, but is that how you actually got your first like in with car community here? Or autocross more recently, so we kind of touched on that.
It's
but-
kind of weird. I mean, so I've been back and forth with a lot of car scenes. I mean, because I was like, you know, I first met like the RX-7 guys locally on forums in the mid 2000s.
I miss forums, man.
Forums were we could do a whole show on just forums. I miss forums so much. But like that's originally
Stupid
like
Facebook.
yeah, that's how I got into like the various car scenes. Because I mean, like, you know, I don't own a Mazda right now, but like that's how I got into the Mazda scene. Like for a while, I was actually into Lincolns for a while, if you can believe that.
What?
Yeah, I had a
Like-
Lincoln Mark 8, 98 Mark 8. Thing was sweet.
32 valve intake.
But yeah, and like that was back in the forum era and stuff like that.
Is
And
that
so-
before you learned that every single guy in that community had a lip ring and it was a total tool?
No, because that was before that. Like this was back when like real like good people owned cool cars. And
Okay.
now, yeah, and then like later on, I joined a Lincoln Mark 8 group on Facebook, and it was one of those
Like all the SN95 guys, except like now they've
Oh,
got like
no.
a kid and they need.
no,
like,
it was like straight hood trash. Like people would like take a picture of their car interior with like a handgun laying on the seat, and like it was like that
Oh,
kind of people, or
great.
like people who were like bragging about like driving without a license and stuff like that. And it's like just not good people.
Okay.
Not-
I mean, like
not
the
good
the
people.
kind of people who now own $1,000 luxury cars.
Oh my.
Yeah.
So
Because
future,
this was
future
back before-
Audi A8 owners.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
But
Yeah,
but
people
so
that
that
own like first year E38s and A8s and W220 S430s.
Oh, you know what? Actually, funny enough, we got a free W220 S430 at work on Friday. My boss just got it for free.
Yeah.
He goes,
nice.
"Yeah, I bought it for the wheels, and I'm gonna." And he's like, "I'm gonna probably scrap it because this thing it needs suspension and it's got timing chain rattle and it's just bad." So, yeah.
Cat delivery.
So it was that
Yeah.
it was so back in the forums. That's where you got in the cars.
Yeah, so for like a lot of like car like brand specific stuff, like I didn't do a lot with like the car scene at large until like probably the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And that was really like I think it really probably was MN Volvo that kind of got me out and like doing more like overreaching car stuff. And I didn't really set out to do any of that because like I've owned a lot of cool weird stuff over the years, but like I've never been like a scene person. Like
Yeah.
I've always just done.
No way.
I mean, you know, besides
No
that
way,
middle school
bruh.
scene phase,
And
but
the Lincoln Mark 8s.
you know.
Well, no, I know what
But,
you mean. Like I
you
can't.
know, like I've liked interacting with the people who like did the like had the same kind of car and like you know just from the like a technical standpoint and stuff like that. But like I don't know, like especially back in the day, man. It was weird because 10 years ago I used to take for granted, Ricer was a thing, 10, 15 years ago. And now it's like, man, I would kill to have that scene back compared to the fucking trash that we have now.
Oh, totally.
But,
I prefer Rice to Stance every day of the week.
But that's another matter entirely. I was always kind of the weird kid, just like off kind of doing my own thing. And it was really like owning the Amazon and like having everybody who saw it get so excited about it that kind of like made me a lot of friends in the car scene. And then, so I got into autocross a little bit after that. I bought a 1980 Volkswagen Scirocco that was horribly, like, partially prepped for autocross. They did a horseshit job, but
No,
like,
they
the spring rates were all wrong.
They might have done a perfectly fine job.
Yeah.
It just might have been a car that was past its prime.
No, they did a bad job.
Oh, really?
Like,
Okay.
the spring rate, it was sprung so stiff that it just literally didn't move over corners. Like,
Great.
but, yeah. But, so that's what got me into autocross, though. And then I met, like, more people sort of like me who, like, just tinker with cars and just enjoy it for the sake of doing it. And, like, people who don't
like
care
Richard
about...
and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, that was really cool, too. And so I had kind of, like, these two very different parallel paths of, like, meeting car people.
Yeah.
And, because, like, I don't like the generic scenester car
No,
people. But I like people I have met in the scene going to things associated with that.
Yeah.
Some
so-
people just go to the scene meets just to rip on people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it's like Miguel with his
Oh, dude.
Bad Arrow Facebook album that he's got going
Oh,
on.
yeah, that's good. I enjoy that.
So,
I appreciate that.
Well, and that's kind of when we first started, because that's what I'm into. Is like, I was a Honda guy, like
right.
big time, and now I consider myself a classic Japanese guy.
Mm-hmm.
And both of those, I got into those. I wasn't into the normal thing. Like when I was a Honda guy, I wasn't like super all about like the coolest EK Civic. Like I'm like I like an EF Civic. I like an EA. Like what the
I
hell
remember,
is a
yeah,
CVCC?
back in the day, like the EF, like people liking EFs because people love EFs now.
Yeah, they're
like
great.
back in the day, like the EF
They
was
weren't
a
a cool
throwaway
thing.
car.
Yeah, it was a
like,
total.
people, nobody cared. Yeah.
That was the car you got because you couldn't afford an EG or EK.
Mhm.
And like
No,
I actually
that's
got
a
an
real
EF.
thing, yeah.
I got an EF because I was like, no, this was actually like, ever since I was in probably 7th grade when I discovered the EF, like that was my favorite car.
Yep.
And like before,
Can confirm.
yeah, and like before that it was the EG.
Yep.
And the only reason the EG was because the first cool car I ever saw was an EG.
That's fair.
But
yeah.
like I was like really into that, and like into Japanese cars, like we got guys that cover like all the S30s and stuff, like all the Datsuns and all of the Celicas, and like those are cool. There's nothing wrong with those. But I'm the sort of person where I'll walk past a lineup of the best A86s and the best S30s and find some like weirdo with kind of a clapped out Toyota Carina in the back. I'm like, that's a cool car. Like this guy went out of his way to find the weirdest shit possible. It is every bit as good as the equivalent Celica, but it's got weird taillights and it's got mismatched sized headlights. It's cool. So like that, we're kind of that's how.
Can I go on a little tangent there?
Yeah, let's do it.
So I mean,
No, definitely
obviously,
not.
yeah. So I love the fact that like there's so much stuff from the 90s now that's like import eligible.
Yeah.
So like you go to these like importers, right? And like there's so many R32 Skylines.
Oh, but every
and, like,
single one, yeah.
You know, S13, like it's all good stuff. Like those are fine cars, but like then you're like right-hand drive, all-wheel drive, diesel manual Corolla wagon.
Like the one
Hell
that's in
yeah.
Seattle.
Yeah,
The one in
and,
Seattle.
and like that's the shit that like somebody paid real money to bring that to Japan. They're like, fuck all the rest of
from
this
Japan,
like cliche JDM shit that everybody else wants. I want my diesel all-wheel drive Corolla.
Yeah, and it's literally
And that's why when
8101
2002
Corolla.
hits and people are looking at bringing in like weird rare Audis and shit like that.
Yeah.
No, I'm bringing in the weird 2-door Renault minivan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The Aventime, and I said before everybody got super into K cars, like I'm totally missed the boat on it. I really wanted a Mazda AutoZam AZ1.
Yeah.
And then there was a 3-month window between the AutoZam being eligible for import and actually being like blowing up in value, where they were like to the dollar the exact same price as a cappuccino. and I really wanted
not
one.
Cheap now.
No, they're
Yeah.
insane. They're more expensive than a OK like GTST, and
Yeah.
it's just totally insane. So there goes my dream of owning the ABCs of K cars, the AutoZam, the Beat, and the Cappuccino.
Yeah.
'Cause it's just
And
like
I think like the
such
time you
similar
really
cars.
wanted to import one was right after you bought the CRX, so you just could barely afford one.
I'm like I could either do that or I
that's
could
how
be a
it goes,
responsible adult. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the CRX wasn't a very responsible choice either. But...
No, CRX was a great choice because I was driving from. Honey, that car.
She said responsible. You said great. They're both true.
Well, no, I got the CRX as a responsible choice because I wanted a car that was fun to drive and got 40 miles per gallon, and was cheaper than a Miata.
Yeah, no,
And that
I
was the
totally
CRX.
feel that. I mean, I love, like, the fact that people, like, today are like, oh yeah, 40, 50 miles a gallon. It's like, Honda was doing that shit in the 80s all day long. And
Well, so with the CRX, I was living in Richfield, I worked at MAP. It was a 45-minute, 20-mile commute.
Yep.
Like, it was an insane commute.
Oh yeah.
And so, yeah, the CRX only lasted, what, like 2-3 years?
Yeah.
But in that time frame, I put on 45,000 miles
Yeah.
on a car that previously had 290,000 miles on it and was 30 years old. And the fact that I put 45,000 on that, more than what the original warranty was for, like that's pretty insane.
Yeah.
And that I think accounts as a good choice. Because if I did that with the Mazda 5, I would have been just as screwed. So I've had to buy a transmission. I would have had to do all the brakes. I would have had to do the suspension. I would have had to do 2 sets of tires.
Yeah.
Like I would have had to do the exact same amount of garbage, except I had half the price point and twice the fun. And never, ever, ever in my life could I get Vietnamese food in Frogtown because my car would have been stolen immediately.
I had to carry
That's
around
true.
a
Yeah.
large purse just exclusively for the engine computer on
Yep.
the car.
Oh, because you took it out every time?
Oh, every
Yeah.
single time. Yeah, if I parked
Oh.
anywhere where I was not able to look at my car,
Oh my.
I had my carpet. I had all the clips for the carpet pulled out.
Yeah.
So I could just yank it back, unclip the ECU, and just put it in my pocket. And
I
then
guarantee the pins in that wire harness were never rated for the number of times they were connected and disconnected.
that
on that
is
ECU.
true.
Yeah.
Statement.
Oh, they were like for me. Like if I had to park my car, like we were going to a movie, like it was a legit 5-minute preparation sequence. Is pull the ECU out, swap the fuel pump fuse.
Oh no.
And swap that for it's a 15 amp. I'd swap that for a 5 amp, so it'd pop immediately.
Oh, that's really smart.
It would start, but then it would pop.
Yes.
Yep. And then I would flip the plug wires around 180
We would
degrees.
take the shift knob.
I'd take
Oh
the
my
shift
God.
knob out. But no, I'd flip all the plug wires around 180
See
degrees.
why I say this wasn't a responsible decision?
But
'Cause
this
I
is the
have-
thing. I'd flip the plug wires around 180 degrees so they'd fire on the exhaust stroke.
Yeah.
So it'd create the loudest possible backfire. So
Yeah.
it'd be like an alarm.
That
without
was a
being an
fairly
alarm.
common one for Hondas, was
Yeah.
with the firing order.
But no, it'd do it 180 degrees on every single one. So then every single one just loudly backfire and shoot firewalls out the back. Yeah. It was great. And yeah, there were a couple of times when the car was broken into, but never stolen.
That's
So-
okay. I have a story along those lines.
Oh, wait, okay.
So the Volvo Amazon has a very, very primitive anti-theft system.
Mm.
So
How?
which has actually and this has actually saved it. 'Cause
Really?
Someone tried to steal it out in front of my house a few years ago.
What?
Yes, and so what it is so like super old school ignition setup. If
Yeah.
you're familiar, there's literally just like a 12-volt power wire that goes from the ignition switch to the ignition coil.
Yeah.
In the Volvo Amazon, that wire, which is ostensibly the wire that you cut or pull off when you hotwire it,
Yep.
Yeah.
they encase that in a steel sheath.
Huh.
That's awesome.
So
That literally, so the ignition coil and the switch are purchased as an assembly because there's literally steel connecting them.
Okay, I gotta know. Do you shove the switch through the firewall or the coil through the firewall? when you
Coil
buy
goes
it?
through the firewall.
Okay.
And then it has screws on and
That's
it just
pretty-
like
that's
sits like
pretty
halfway
neat.
into the engine bay. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's
but
actually
literally,
really
I
cool.
went out to it one night, and like all the wires underneath the dash had been like sort of pulled out and messed around with, and like they had clearly like dug around inside the car like looking for a key or something, but it was still there. And I'm like, I bet if it hadn't had that steel sheath protecting the hot wire going to the coil, like,
Yeah.
it probably would have been stolen.
Yeah, with the CRX,
So-
what I would do is I do all that crap, and if I didn't have anything like worthwhile in the car, I would leave the car unlocked so I don't break my window out.
I do that with the S2000 all the time.
Yeah,
Like,
just
I
leave it
leave it
unlocked and
unlocked or
fucking-
leave the top down because I'm like, I never keep anything valuable in any of my cars, and like the last thing I need is someone slashing my stupid top to get
Yeah.
into my car
Or
to
breaking
like
a
not take
super
anything.
expensive friggin' window.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was my thing. It's like
That's what
if
you do with the Ferrari. You
if
leave
it was-
the top
Well, I
down.
never put the top up in my car. Ever.
Yeah.
It's
But
been
no,
up for
it's like
5 years. I mean,
you could tell when I had comprehensive insurance because that's when I leave my door unlocked. Is
Mhm.
between having comprehensive.
Yeah.
Like if I was like, all right, for the next couple of like weeks, I'm just gonna have like, you know, your basic like
Mhm.
liability, and then like if I then I leave it unlocked, if I've got
Yeah.
comprehensive, it's not my problem if it gets broken.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah. So okay, so we both have shared experiences
Oh yeah.
with like
I
that's-
have never had a theft concern vehicle, so there you go.
yeah, because you drive ridiculous cars.
Yeah, but like E30s, like they're just
Yeah, that
they're
is
hard
true.
to steal. Like
That's true. That yeah, it's more hard to steal than it's worth.
I don't know about that. They're worth quite a bit of money these days. But
No,
they're
they
not
are. No,
easy
it's
to
it's
steal,
not
which
like
is
it's not like a
nice.
Honda where it's like a
Well,
night's
you need
work.
you need more than 4 ignition keys.
That's what I mean.
to
Yeah,
start
like
a car.
with the Honda, like you can easily make 2 weeks profit in a night's work by
Yep.
stealing one. Like it's very very lucrative.
Right,
I understand
yeah.
why people
That's-
do it. It's a shitty
yeah.
thing to do, and you're a terrible person. You're gonna die in hell. And probably get plugged in the butt at some point in your life.
Oh yeah.
But I mean,
Before
like
the
it makes sense.
But in the prison part. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Now,
that was a hell of a tangent.
What
Let's
are
move
your
on to
What are your
car shows.
favorite local events and car shows?
My favorite local events is just autocross.
Autocross?
Like.
What
I
about
mean-
shows?
Yeah. What about scene point shows?
Oh, Scene Point shows. So my
Active Aero
favorite show is Intermark.
Okay.
That is a
It's a good
great
answer.
show.
I mean, because like nothing
we
nothing
didn't
newer
learn
than
about that.
1990 and no American cars. It's
Mhm.
magical.
They let me in. I had a 92.
Yeah.
yeah, it was designed and
Yeah, it was designed earlier than that.
Plus, it's really cool. I
That's
mean,
right,
I'm not- like
yeah.
they give a little bit of leeway because there was some. This actually really bothers me.
I was
this
gonna
was
go
like
to
a
Spectator
stupid
and
like
they waved me in.
yeah Toyota Solara thing. And it was like sitting like behind because I take pictures of things sometimes, and I like had this great shot of like it was like the 50s Jaguar that was there or something.
yeah.
And they're like I noticed in the background of the shot afterwards because I shoot film as well, so I don't find these things out until like 2 days later when I actually develop it. I'm like this stupid like '99 Solara is sitting in this. Like right in the background of my shot, and I didn't even think of it. And I'm like, God, I want to die right now. But so sometimes they make exceptions for the wrong cars. But overall, like that car just it brings out people that
That show.
don't
Yeah.
usually go to car scene things.
And that's
And,
exactly what I like about that. It's like, what other show are you gonna go to where you're gonna find, 80-year-old guys that are into old like Triumphs, and then also
Yeah.
bring out like
It's
millennials
just the sheer variety
that are
yeah,
into like
and
modern Volvos.
it's a good
and
way.
Japanese
It's a good
cars.
way to like introduce a lot of people to like cars that like. I'm a fairly well-versed person when it comes to weird cars, and like I've seen stuff there that I've never seen before.
I was
Yeah.
thrown off.
And-
like yeah,
and that's
Before
really-
AG swapped Austin. Like what the hell?
no. Better yet, the Humbler Super Snipe or the Borgward
Yeah,
Isabella.
Borgward. Like there are multiple Borgwards there. Like I've never seen a Borgward
In my
anywhere else
life,
in
yeah.
my entire life. And
Exactly.
it's like, oh, there's 3 of them here. Okay, cool.
Or
Yeah.
the
Like-
first Traction Avant that I saw at a car show, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
one person was there, and I was like,
Meh.
this is
No,
my favorite.
absolutely. Or like the
Citroen
whole
Bahari.
row of Citroens. Like, yeah, fine, here it is.
Yeah, and they weren't just a bunch of super late model 2CVs.
Mhm.
Which is
It
the
was-
best Citroen.
Yeah.
No, late model. The early ones are better because they're more.
I'm just
goofy.
saying I don't like pre-war stuff.
Well,
Well, that's fair.
none
yeah.
of them are pre-war.
I-
They didn't start production until 1947.
On the 2CV, yeah.
Yeah.
We're
I
talking
mean-
about like Traction Avant shit.
Well,
like
no. I was saying 2CVs.
Yeah, no, I love all 2CVs
Yeah.
equally. They're like
Yeah,
my
fair.
illegitimate
Yeah.
children.
but
Illegitimate French children.
But yeah, that's like the only place I also see Deus's, which is
Mhm.
really weird because you'd think you'd see them around a lot more.
no, they just.
Or
How many of them are at the show? Yeah, because there are a bunch
there were
locally.
like
They're
6
just
or
never
7.
driven.
I
Like
know
half
how
of them
many.
are Michaels.
Yeah, I was about to say, how many of these Citroens? are
Michael
Michaels?
is like the dude who has a huge problem with buying too many of the same car with Citroens, like I do with BMWs.
Yeah.
Like it's a huge problem.
See, I
but
can't
it's
do
cool.
that. Like, I have to own a bunch of different cars. Like, but-
I
Oh,
really,
that's
I
different,
admire if
yeah.
somebody has the dedication to be into one single car. I really admire.
yeah,
that.
I mean, it's cool. I get it. It's just not for me, I guess. Like,
No,
and
that's
no
the thing.
disrespect.
I just, it is for me. Like,
Mhm.
I really like want to try to do that. Like, I've always said, like, for a long time, I was like, yeah, no, like one day I may have a garage full of dope EFs, and then like when I have the money for that, I'm
Yeah.
like, I end up getting other weird stuff.
Right.
Whereas, like, if you ever met like Russ Hagen, he's this guy that's got a bunch of, like, he's got a collection of over a dozen Porsche 356s.
Okay.
Every single car in his collection is a variant of a Porsche 356.
Okay.
And
for his
he's
back.
got, except for his
And his
two.
boats.
In his boats,
But those
yes.
aren't cars. So.
Those, yeah, exactly. Like, every car's a
But
356.
those aren't
Like,
cars.
if somebody has the ability to do that, yeah, like, that's super weird. But
Mhm.
yeah, no, I totally get where you're coming from. It's like, I'm like, yeah, I want a bunch of EFs, and I'm like, cool, I got enough money for EF.
Oh,
What's
what's
the
Mazda
Subaru-
5 as a manual?
Yeah, what's the Subaru GL10? What's that? And it's like, all right, everybody, universe, I'm looking for a Mitsubishi Galant Sigma, or like something like that, like just some weirdo car. So
See,
I still
so
think you
here's, I don't know, man. Like, now that I'm gonna live in Seattle, because like I already go on Seattle Craigslist every day.
yeah,
But
oh,
now
it's
I'm gonna,
painful.
Yeah,
it's really
now I'm
painful,
gonna
yeah.
live there, and so now I can just send you links to all the
Oh,
weird shit I
no.
find.
Yeah.
Hey, look at this rust-free XT turbo manual.
Oh no, not even
Yeah.
that. No, it's gonna be more weird. Like, trust me,
Well-
I was already looking. I found there's somebody
And-
that's selling a bunch of old Fiats, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I suddenly have a Fiat problem. Like,
Uh-oh.
I'm
That
like,
is a problem.
suddenly
I
I want
agree.
a Fiat 650 like a
Oh,
Barth.
those. Okay.
Like,
yeah.
super old Fiats.
Yes,
Like, now I'm
okay.
like, suddenly this is gonna become my next
Yeah,
big
yeah.
problem.
Hell yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Be honest, you're gonna end up with a Baritone X19.
No,
Yes.
no,
Oh,
no.
good
I
car.
know that's a
Good
good. No, you know what I'm
car.
gonna do is I'm gonna aim for. I'm gonna say no. I'm not buying anything else. I'm gonna buy a Lancia Fulvia Zagato,
Fulvia, yeah.
a Fulvia Zagato, and then I'm gonna
Yeah.
end up with a Bertone X.
Whatever. They're both good
They're
answers.
both
Yeah,
really
one
cool.
of them has a V4, but I mean, one of them's got a very prominent Bertone badge. So I'll let
That's
you be
true.
the judge of
That
what is
is
the right and wrong answer.
Hey, well, actually, on this vein, we should talk about our last Carbitrage.
Especially because it's
question.
very near Seattle Craigslist, and you could easily get a vehicle from there.
Yes,
So
and while
we've
you're saying
got-
that, I'm gonna go pee.
sounds good. We've
All
got
right.
a second challenge.
Okay.
You're going to notice patterns, probably in the same kind of geographical area as the Mondial Challenge, but
Okay.
we both, when we went out to Monterey last year, were like, oh my
Yeah.
god, rental cars are ridiculous.
They are.
So we did the math, and it was like conservatively $1,500 to get a rental car for the time we were out there.
Yep.
So we just
Wow.
like, didn't do it, but like that got
That's-
me thinking, like, hop on Craigslist when you get out there on the plane,
Yeah.
just take an Uber somewhere. Like, what
Yeah.
car are you gonna buy for the 2 weeks that you're out there, and then drive back to Minnesota here,
Mhm.
and then at least break even, but possibly turn a profit on it? That's between
Oh.
$1,500 and $3,000 for purchase price.
God, it's actually kind of funny that Ryan's not here because the EF Civic is the right answer.
Well,
Like-
it's unanswered, certainly.
It's well, so here's the thing about buying Hondas in California. So
Yeah.
California has hateful emissions testing,
Sure do.
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And so the thing about buying Hondas in California is like after 200,000 miles, every Honda in the world burns a disgusting amount of oil.
But yeah, with the
Yeah.
D series.
Yeah, and so they don't pass the emissions testing anymore. So
Okay.
what you end up with in California is this giant stockpile of Hondas that nobody can drive,
Mhm.
that have super clean bodies
Yep.
that you can buy like. Honestly, I've seen really clean ones for like $1,000. So like that's even lower than your $1,500.
Right,
But
which
I mean,
is great.
they're- yeah,
More-
and they're
yeah,
cars that
more
you
beer
can
money, yeah.
buy, and they're fine, and you can drive them, and they just burn oil, so you can't register them in California because they won't
Which
pass
car?
them at EF Civics.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
funny enough, I was.
No, that's why I said like
Yeah,
it's
he
Ryan's
actually
not here.
said
Yeah.
funny enough. Ryan's not
Which,
here.
like,
Yeah.
another
The correct
reason
answer
why,
is
another reason why that's also hilarious is, so my oldest sister, she lived in San Diego for a really long time, and then she lived in Seattle and like the Midwest. But her favorite car she ever drove was an EF Civic manual hatch. And
Yeah.
she fell in love with that car, but when she moved back to Monterey, she's like, I can't buy another Civic because exactly your problem.
They don't. Yeah,
And so she got a Yaris. And
Mhm.
Yeah, Yaris is a great car.
it is.
they're just not $1,000.
no,
You know,
they're not.
one thing I would say, if we can adapt this for Darren specifically,
Oh,
the
boy.
we just say it's a Seattle challenge for a second. Seattle.
You could do that. Too.
Yeah, Seattle is like lousy with first generation Integras.
Yeah.
And that's a kick-ass car
That
for
is.
that price range. And I would
Yeah.
totally pick up a
And
first
that's
gen Integra.
okay. And Seattle has a lot of Preludes too.
A ton, every Prelude.
Yeah.
Like
Like,
it's,
they're all
it's
there.
pretty insane, like the number I see. But I just for the sake of California, I mean, like California specifically to me is like the promised land for Hondas.
It really
Because
is,
people
yeah.
are
It does
just
make a
literally
lot of
trying to get
sense.
rid of cars that
Yeah.
are trying to pass emissions and can't.
Yeah.
So you can
Yeah.
and particularly then, you're part of the question of like, oh, you can bring it back here and turn a profit, but like, hell yeah, you can, because we don't have emissions here.
And
Yeah.
we don't
So
have
it's
rust-free Hondas.
A
here either,
$1,500 car out there is a $3,000 car here, easy.
Yeah.
The only issue I have with ESEGEKs is those ones are... People know those well enough to be able to know what to look for to do that exact same thing and go find them.
Yeah.
So they're a little bit harder to sell. Plus you have to deal with Honda people, which is
Ooh,
fucking
yeah.
worst.
I had to sell a Del Sol once. That was
Yeah, no, I sold my CRX. I sold to a
Yeah.
friend. 'Cause I was like,
Element people are very good, I will say.
yeah, because
I pointed out an Element, and everyone I met was fabulous.
Yeah, no, like Honda people are just the absolute worst.
I will say the dude about the drivetrain was not an Element person. He was terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
He
They're
paid me,
all
because he was
terrible.
like, was
He
he building
putting
like
it
a
in
hybrid or
else.
something? And,
Yeah, He was doing like a Civic
Gosh,
with a
I
J32
remember
or something.
I was
don't know.
managing one of the for sale ads for the CRX.
Oh, no.
And I kept on getting, your price is too high. Would you take this much? And I was like, no. Like, do you understand? This is a CRX, like with minimal, like
It
no.
had no rust. It had.
I always ask people to provide me with 3 comps at or below my price range, and then I'll consider their lowball. But like,
Yeah.
I never ever get a second reply from that.
No, what I say
We're
is.
trading ridiculous cars for the CRX. And I was
No,
like,
my favorite one was like, yeah, I'll trade you this Monte Carlo and a bag of weed. Like, no! Like,
Did
fuck
you
you.
have somebody-
Oh my god.
Like, I
Did
don't want
somebody
that.
try to
Sounds
buy a car from you
accurate.
With, like,
Yeah,
whiskey
and that's-
or something, or like juice
Oh
pouches?
yeah. Somebody tried to trade me like hundreds of dollars of EBT and cash. I'm just like, no. Like I had to Google what that meant before I could respond to you, but hell no. Yeah, I don't remember what that was. I'm sure. I think it was a car part. I don't think it was.
Yeah.
You know, people are always like, oh yeah, if you could wait till Friday, blah, blah, like they needed it that day. I think it was like an E46 water pump or some shit. They wanted to pay me in food stamps.
Oh yeah,
I'm just
Typically-
like,
typically
no.
46 driver. Yeah.
Yeah, they're bad people too.
But so-
not as bad as E36.
So that's I have a really hard time like ever saying I would ever buy any sort of Honda. But things
Just
like the
please-
first
I-
gen Integra, they're weird
I
enough.
get it. Yeah.
Like,
no, I mean. Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, if you're-
that adds another dynamic to the question, I
Yeah.
guess. So.
That's I'm like, oh god, it's like I'll buy it for myself at that point because it's literally like
Yeah.
I will deal with that shit if I'm making 10 grand profit off the car, but not a penny less because I don't want to deal with people like that. Like it's not worth it.
No.
So my
92 Camry wagon manual, 4-cylinder,
Mm.
2001 330i 5-speed sedan, and I think you said W124 and kind of threw me for a loop, right?
yep, with W124, me and Trig both said that.
Yeah, that was a good answer.
And then
too.
I said
Interesting. Okay.
any Japanese mini truck from the 1980s.
Yeah, those are all
Oh,
really good
any
answers.
of
that's a good. That's
Really?
a wild card.
You just
yeah,
have
yeah.
to look
they're
for shit
kind of
that is
everywhere. out there.
desirable here
It's-
and
yeah.
rusts here and isn't
Yeah.
there, and then that's your miracle answer.
So
Yeah,
it's actually
like $2,000 Nissan hardbody.
yeah,
Bring it out
like
here.
totally
Yep.
worth it. Yeah. Well, there's actually
Yeah.
the coalition of OG mini trucks
Yeah.
on Facebook. For a while, they were doing a lot of build threads on people that were buying old gardening trucks from Los Angeles that were featured in Mini Trucking magazine back in like 1990. And because these are like stupid reliable, like
Yeah.
and like, now it's got a dancing bed on it. Like some
Yep.
Mexican guy bought it and he goes, yeah, no, it's really convenient because I can lift the bed up and then
Hell
tip
yeah.
it and it's not a dump truck.
Oh,
like
that is delightful.
Like
That's
and
incredible.
so like these crazy lowriders became gardening trucks.
Yep.
And so yeah, now these people are like buying them up and like restoring them and stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah, stories like that. And I'm like, yeah, totally. I would totally go out there and get like the November 1997 mini truck and cover car.
Yep.
Can you
Like-
imagine driving a vehicle with that suspension 2,000 miles on the interstate?
I know someone like who
13
bought one in Arizona
hydraulics.
and drove it all the way back to Minnesota.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
years
wow.
ago, but Yeah,
Ow.
super wild. That's
Ow.
a little hardcore for me.
I'm still undecided because everything I thought of was more than $3,000.
That's the real kicker, which is
Ooh.
what makes it a good question.
Yeah.
'Cause there's tons of obvious answers, because it's like the what isn't rusty there that is here. Or like, what do you go out to California and you're blown away because you haven't seen one since your childhood?
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
That's
Like, it's
true.
Gone.
Yeah.
Probably some sort of
Like-
Toyota.
Yeah, some weirdo Toyota. A Sterling would be another
Ooh.
really good example.
Actually, or like a
Or
like a
Suzuki.
kind of
We
shitty
can find a
Peugeot
Suzuki.
504.
Yep,
Oh,
Peugeot
504,
504.
505 would be awesome.
Yeah.
That's a
That's-
good PNW grab
That
right
that
there.
is
Yeah.
a really
Yeah.
really good one.
Oh, dude, yeah. You're going to be looking for a manual 505 wagon now, I can tell.
Yeah,
All right.
that
I'll
will
let you
be.
guys know.
Yeah,
Fight over it.
Help me make a really bad decision.
Oh, man, this is not going to be good. Anyway, yeah, so you should probably just not tell us anything you find that's super cool.
So Darren will be giving us photos and coverage
Oh,
of
man.
the car community and
So we'll have a lot to talk about and think about, potentially make really horrible decisions.
Oh, potential.
Yeah.
What do you mean potentially?
And so it's actually funny. So
I
this
see
coming,
foreclosure in my future.
this coming Saturday is actually Radwood in Seattle.
Oh!
And so that's kind of like, yeah.
You gotta cover that.
Yeah,
You gotta
that's,
cover it.
that's the plan. So,
Yeah.
so Richard's driving out with me, and then my buddy Austin is actually gonna fly in. We're all going to Radwood.
Oh, really?
'Cause
Austin Isu or
Yeah,
Oh, I
so,
love
yeah.
that guy, yeah. I
Is
met
he
him
the
at
one
the...
that, like, fixed the A8 or S8
S8,
or whatever?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I met
Yeah.
him.
Oh, yeah,
He's a good friend
he's
of mine.
in California
Yep,
now.
I visited.
Yeah.
So him and I went to the Radwood LA show, and so then we were talking about, hey, we should do Radwood Seattle someday. And now I'm moving to Seattle literally the weekend that the show is. So
That's amazing.
If I had money to go...
And knowing you planned it that way?
When's the Michigan one? The Detroit.
oh, I don't know.
The Detroit one
I
happened.
was
already.
at we were at Cars and Craft, and I found my buddy Mike Montone was that beautiful Alpha one, the old '80s one,
Oh, the Alpha Milano.
the Verde, the Milano Verde,
Yeah.
and then his buddy Dan, who I built a chump car with way back in the day. He's got an M6, an A24
Okay.
M6, like a nice one. He spent
This
a lot
pervert
of
was
time and
sniffing
money.
my shoes.
Yeah, that's Modi.
Oh,
Buddy. But anyway, they are planning to drive to Milwaukee and take the ferry across and then drive into Detroit.
Oh.
I'm like, well, if you guys actually end up getting your cars running in time, which is probably not going to happen, let me know. I'll put a Guibo in the M3 and
Oh,
I'll go
damn.
with you.
Yeah.
Because that sounded like a lot of fun. And the E30 M3, or the 850, I guess. But I think that would be bomb. I'd love to go
Let
to
me
that
know,
one.
because
Yeah.
I'd totally go with you.
Do it.
That'd be super fun.
Oh, Modi.
Good
boy.
But yeah, if you plan on going down to JCCS in Los Angeles, let me know.
I would, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
'cause
like,
we're gonna be down
I'm
there
only
this
going to be
year.
going to LA more because now it's
That's
going to be even cheaper. and
September
easier to fly there,
21st.
so.
Yeah, September
Okay.
21st. We're gonna be down there for that.
All right.
So.
Modi looks like a Shiba Inu right now.
Yeah, she
He
does.
does.
It's actually really convenient because I finally captured him. I can pet him so long as he's let me pet him for ever.
Ryan, what time did you actually end up getting home this morning?
This morning? No, actually, I
From
left.
drag
I left
racing.
early.
You did?
Yeah, I waited until my bedding had broken even.
Nice. Hell yeah.
True
So,
to his word.
I took one of my favorite things in the world to do is to take Burger and throw him out of his comfort zone.
Mhm.
No,
So, you
just
know-
out of my element.
Yeah,
Not
out of
my
his.
comfort
No,
zone.
no,
Still
yeah,
car
out of his element. It's like
I only knew like 20% of many people there.
Wait,
this
wait,
year.
out of his Honda Element?
That joke came up a couple times.
yes.
Yep.
So Burger is like he's
But I knew
into
people out
he's
there.
into EVs and
Yeah,
European
yeah.
cars and fancy stuff and like
I mean,
the bourgeois society.
Yeah.
And
hate
I'm
for
like,
German
I
stuff.
live in a gutter with a bunch of street racers with like
Yeah.
shitbox Hondas.
Well,
And like,
we know
I
all
actually,
the same people because
Yeah.
I used to go to uni. We went
Yeah.
to the same high school.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no,
like,
I remember that. Like I used to do the uni thing like 2007, 2008, like
Mhm.
back when.
Yeah, that's like when I
shit.
first
Before
started
the
going,
sports bikes took over.
Oh yeah.
yeah, it was actually Sports Spice that ruined it. But anyway, so one of my
Okay.
favorite things is like
Love we call them
when
sports
when
bikes.
Burger like
So
when
untouched.
Burger like moved on to doing more and more BMW stuff.
fancy stuff.
Yeah, fancy stuff. I found more guttural, shitty things to do.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
like if there's like a donk meet or something that like somebody's getting like shot at,
Hey, no,
or there's
I
like
love donks.
yeah, or if
Yeah.
there's a fight happening
My
at the
ex
street
lived on
races, I'm
Bryson
there to see
Carpenter,
it.
man.
Oh man, you
like-
would have. There was a lowrider event.
Yeah, I
last
loved.
year.
I wanted to.
But there was like a very serious fist fight at that. Like there were like big crowds of people and like
But
dudes
yeah,
got,
so, like,
dude
those
got
are-
dragged out of a car. Like it was.
yeah, those are sort of
Yeah.
meets I like going to. Anyway, so
Neat.
every now and then I like to take Burger and take him out of his like West Side kind of like bourgeois like comfort zone and throw him into my world. And so last year I took him
His
down.
world is a scary place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Last year I
Yeah,
took him
okay,
out to
tell me
Elko
about that.
Speedway, and this year
Okay.
I've taken him out to Cache at the Creek, which is
8th mile
grudge
drag
racing.
racing.
It's 8th mile grudge drag racing. No posted times, and there's like a ton of side betting that happens and everything. So actually, I'm pretty happy I broke even with all my side betting. So.
I'm pretty happy. I got Nacho Supreme and didn't pay a dime.
Yeah, it was great.
Did Darren back in a single charge. It was lovely.
But like that's one of those things. If you ever are up here in Minnesota when they're doing Cache at the Creek again, I highly recommend going.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a good time.
It is a
Hey,
super.
What are you doing to my shoes?
Modi!
I'll get the pervert.
It's just so sniffing. I'm not a problem. You have a problem.
Anyway, so if you ever have a chance to go out, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I'd be.
Because, like, it's just like the most ridiculous things running. Like, the car that was that black and white, the 50 Shades of Grey, Monte Carlo SS,
Yep.
he's the 7-time winner at Cache at the Creek. So he's won that 7 times. With, like, the worst looking, like...
I just wanted the snowmobile to
like,
win, man.
Yeah. Oh, dude. That snowmobile boogied.
I know.
And the guy that
I was there.
the guy was driving it was just like Kenny Powers, too.
Oh, dude. Oh, my God.
Yeah. So
That
anyway,
hair.
yeah, so it's like a bunch of stuff. It's kind of like anything goes there.
Yeah.
So like there was some like stupid fast muscle cars. There was a cool RX-7
With a rotary.
Yeah, rotary.
Yeah,
and
you gotta
everything.
specify that.
Yeah,
now.
yeah, rotary RX-7.
The rest of them are LS.
Yeah, there's 2 LS RX-7s, so the rotary was definitely the fastest of the 3.
Hell yeah, good.
You heard it on the 2-step and you're like, that sounds different.
Miguel Garcia was there with his car.
Miguel was there.
He was really, really consistent.
I spotted it first, even.
You did. I thought it was Ku Yang's first. But no, I actually he helped me break even. So thank you again, Miguel. But yeah, and then also there was snowmobile racing at the drag strip.
Oh yeah, they
like street snowmobile racing.
So weird.
And,
So Minnesotan, might I add.
And the
It
announcer
is.
sure said it home.
oh yeah.
Oh,
we
yeah,
got
you
him
betcha.
up in the right lane here in the skidoo.
Yeah, he said skidoo. He said it that way, not
Yep.
skidoo.
Skidoo.
Skidoo. SKADOO.
Oh, we're just going to take a short little break here so we can double check the track. I will say, they're the most fastidious track when it comes to making sure that the surface is completely perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
They
can
shut
believe
that bad boy down so many times when there was like any smoke coming out of any car.
Mhm.
But anyway, so
Also, I'm
when
bringing
these
earplugs next time.
when these when these snowmobiles are going, yeah, they were actually not the fastest, but definitely in the podium.
Dude, we saw one just like wreck up a ZX14 drag bike.
Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like
Oh,
not
yeah.
like beat up by a car or
Yeah.
a truck
No, these
or
things
a
were
bus.
flipping.
I'm talking like
Flipping
a
pretty good.
freight train.
But I mean, it's 8th mile, so I mean, you have. I'm sure the bike
Yeah.
would kill it in the quarter, but like.
yeah, no, this
That's a lot of contact patch.
Yeah.
This
That's
dude,
true.
like, he had.
Just imagine
like,
the centrifugal clutch on that.
Just
thing,
if you can imagine how long a freight train engine is,
Yeah.
like it was.
Well,
literally,
that's even wilder than like an 8th mile.
like
it
he
put
had him
that
by
much-
about a third
They
of the
all
track.
shot
Yeah.
good. 'cause
Yeah.
They don't.
Mhm.
It's a
spin.
CVT,
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a CVT with
Yeah.
a contact patch that's 2 feet wide
Yeah.
by 4 feet. Like it's great. So
Yep, yeah, crazy 2-stroke. That power band is like right
Yep.
there, and it
Yeah,
sits
and
right
just
there,
The
and
whole
just
thing
goes.
is gonna
yeah.
need a rebuild every night. But
Yep.
whatever.
Yeah.
Parts are there.
it,
so.
it did it. Yeah, it was pretty cool. So
That was one of the highlights. I mean, I took a few videos. I wish I could put them up here. Maybe I'll try to splice them in or something like that. But we saw some pretty good stuff. And then we saw some like really like you spent your welfare check on what?
yeah, there was one of my favorite ones. This dude was like bringing back he had like a Dodge Challenger with a 392 Scat Pack and thought he was like hot shit.
Yeah.
No,
And
it was
I
Hellcat.
don't think that dude has ever. No, it was not a Hellcat.
Or we're talking the dude that did the
The
lights.
gray one. The gray.
Well,
yeah,
there,
the
were
gray.
there were two Challenger dudes.
And they
that,
both sucked.
Oh man.
But it's like every single one of them
I
was
can
like.
believe that.
It
Yeah.
was pre-stage, and the dude like waved him forward a little bit. He immediately deep staged. The lights went, and the dude went, and the other dude was just like. And then we never saw him again the rest of the night.
Yeah.
The Hellcat dude did the same shit.
Oh no.
And
And
then
then he rolled way through the deep stage, and then tried to back him up, and then he didn't pre-stage again, and it was just.
It was like these guys have watched a bunch of 1320, but they've never actually paid attention to what was happening in the video, and it's like, I want to be at 1320. I gotta look at yeah.
So here's a question for you guys. Has any lifestyle trend ruined the car scene as much as 1320 video?
Monster Energy.
Yeah, I don't think 1320's ruined anything, because 1320 is just drawing a lot more attention to drag racing. However, Rice Killers.
You think Rice Killers was bad?
They brought out a lot of trash. Like, I don't think that they were bad, but like towards the
early ones,
towards
really
the
like
end.
those.
No,
that's. I guess I'm only thinking of the early ones because
later Rice Killers is terrible.
Okay,
I have heard bad
fair.
things about the later ones.
Yeah, early Rice Killers is great.
I just like because for me that's like to me like the Ed Hardy T-shirt of the car scene is like the 1320 video like hoodie.
Well,
like, if I see someone wearing a 1320 video hoodie, I immediately know that I'm not going to get along with them.
No, I just look for the vape.
Yeah, right.
Other than like Ryan,
yeah.
but even that's only because I've known him a long time.
Yeah.
If I just like met you now, like we would not talk.
No, I don't blame you at all. Like, I don't get along with your friend group for the most part.
Yes.
Like, yeah, I'm very well like aware that I associate with a lot of trash. But
me too. But I just,
no, Fox
Different
Racing.
trash.
Fox Racing.
Kinda,
That might be the worst.
I knew half as many randos at the track
because it's all bro trucks.
But the problem with like
Burger, yeah,
but they make parts though.
Well, I don't know.
That are like because the
so
problem
you're
to
thinking
me
actual
is like purely like
going
lifestyle
fast, right?
brands like 1320
I think all of them. Like whenever I see somebody that's wearing like I guess 1320, like at least I know what I'm getting myself into. I can adapt to that situation and have a conversation with those people. But I mean, like, really any one of those I at least know what to expect.
Yeah.
So if I see somebody with a
you get my point. Right?
If I see somebody with a Hoonigan shirt, I know, all right, probably not a good idea to talk shit about wide body kits here.
Right.
But if I see somebody with a 1320, if I see somebody here with a 1320 sweatshirt, I'm like, this is who I'm going to talk to if I have a question about LS swap.
Okay, similar thing.
You're looking for an EFI Live t-shirt.
Okay, similar point is I know how I'm gonna like a person based on how they react to Ryan. So like if somebody like comes up and refers to him as Jesus of like blank like Jesus
JD
blank,
and Jesus
like
Honda
something like
Jesus.
that,
Yeah.
I just kind of like back away and go find someone else because I'm like
they're not well cultured.
like I'm just like I was like, do you realize?
There've been a lot of car shows where I've ended up walking around with Jenna for a long time.
Yeah,
because you're otherwise.
Yeah, because like a lot of very interesting people come up to Ryan, and Ryan's very polite and doesn't like skew.
Ryan
I'm like a
loves
politician.
Talking, so I talk to anyone.
I kiss
It's
hands
okay.
and I shake babies.
Yeah.
Kissing hands and shaking babies. Shaking hands and kissing babies.
So yeah, so I usually like skirt off, and then I like see Eric, and I'm like, oh Eric, finally! Like I'm like.
And I'm just trying to find the most like weird, just like the most random shit at this show.
Yeah.
And then hate on people with automatics and stance.
Yeah, we always
Yeah. Okay.
I work my way down, so I hate on people, and then I look at stuff, and then I find the really obscure stuff and just nerd out on it.
And then I show him even more weird things that he even missed. That's one of my favorite
I think there's
things.
some reciprocity there.
I think
it's
like one of my favorite things in the world is showing people at car shows the weirdest thing that they didn't notice.
Yeah.
Like that's like one of the most rewarding things. Is like, hey dude, you just totally walked past this C4 like Corvette. However, it's a Callaway turbo. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like I love.
I get that. I totally get that.
I get as much joy out of that as I do seeing like a Renault of any sort at a show. It's just like be able to open people's minds and go, look at this cool thing. So like that's why I have a hard time like saying like I hate on people with 1320 sweatshirts is because like a lot of times I learn something new.
That's
and I like going into a
yeah.
situation and assuming I'm gonna try and learn something new, and then go that way.
He treats it like he's an anthropologist, so I think I've taught him well.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I also look at it through that lens.
Okay, you have successfly made me feel
But it
bad
causes
about
a
my
lot
opinion,
more.
So
It causes a lot more
No,
drama.
no.
I am a terrible person.
No.
I'm closed-minded. I get it.
There is nothing wrong with that because whenever I see somebody with a Volkswagen with stretched tires and like a Farfanugan sticker, I lose my mind and I'm like, I can't be around this person.
And I have to say, like, I'm like a legit anthropologist, and I'm not as nice to the car community as he is, because like I straight up, I'll see someone, I'll run the other way. Like, if anybody with a CA that isn't a coupe tries to talk to me, I'm kind of like, eh.
Yeah, she
cool, bye.
She has actual disdain for people that drive CA sedans.
Yeah.
And she has good reason for
I
that.
have a good reason, because they always try to hit on me.
Yeah, it's usually some guy that's flirting with her.
It's usually some guy trying to flirt with me, even though he knows me through Ryan, which I think is extremely disgusting.
That's gross.
And they usually don't care about their car. Like, the people with the coupes really care about their car.
We have to find them,
Yeah, and like, or a sedan with a vanity plate. I give them some leeway. But it's usually somebody that doesn't care about their car, and they're using it as leverage to, like, talk to me. And
they, like, just bought it as a beater and, like, don't
exactly.
have any
and I'm
attachment
like,
to it.
They're like, oh, I've got the high-end one. And I was like, no, I want the low-end carbureted.
Yeah, I don't want your EX bullshit.
I don't want your
roof. Get out of here.
Is that fuel injection? No! I do not want to start in February. No!
I was like, no.
Vacuum leaks.
Yeah, automatic windows. Fuck off. Like,
yeah.
Like, I carry my window crank in my purse because it always falls off. Like, fuck off.
Real story.
The window crank for the Amazon, I keep in a jar between the two seats. And I also use it as the interior door handle because the splines are the same.
Yeah, exactly. So you know what I'm talking about.
You see, that's the beauty of early Volvo design.
Yeah.
Is, like, they would do something like that. That's how you can tell.
Yeah, it's like I roll up the window, and then I pull it off, and I stick it on the door, and then I open it.
Well, the difference between, like, Volvo red block people and Volvo white block people are, like, the difference between air-cooled Volkswagen and water-cooled.
Oh, yeah.
It's like air-cooled
very,
Volkswagen
very
people.
different, yeah.
They really actually care about the mechanical, like, aspect of the car and actually dealing with the trash that happens.
It's air-cooled and water-cooled Porsche people, too. Just nobody talks to one another.
Yeah, and, like, the water-cooled Volkswagen crowd is, like, how big of a vape cloud can I blow?
Yeah.
And how straight can I make the bill of my hat? Like, that's what they care about more than anything else. And what car can I put a Mark IV R32 front end onto?
Yeah.
Like, that's everything they care about. As opposed to, and that's, like, I like red blocks, I like air-cooled, I like stupid old Japanese cars. I want weird trash. I can tell other people, I'm like, hey, you broke down the side of the road because your igniter overheated? Me too! Like, nobody with a water-cooled Volkswagen will know what that means.
That's fair.
And I think, like, also with, like, the light brand stuff, like, I definitely judge people based on if they're like, oh, you like Hondas, or if they actually know me, they're like, oh, you love French cars. And I'm like, yes, whereas somebody's like, you really like Hondas. And I'm like,
That's
I
a really good
like
way.
CA Accords.
I have a Honda.
I was like, I like my CA Accord coupes. I think that's very niche, like, to say that I'm into Hondas.
Right.
You have your different tiers of what people know you for. So it's like your entry level, and then what you're like, you're really weird. Like, if somebody really knows, it's like the secret handshake.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, hey,
or if they
car
call me
rebuilding
Jana
on the side of the
as
highway.
opposed to
Yep.
Ryan Sininsky's girlfriend, which I think almost everyone in the car community only knows me as Ryan Sininsky's girlfriend.
That is a common
Common
trend. Yeah.
I think I only ever hear people call you Jana, but I'm not around that much.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
think
It is
people
the
are
handshake,
getting to-
though, because the people that know you're like, you come up to a show and you've got the Mazda 5 or the Honda, and they're like, "How's the GL10?"
Yeah, like those are people that know
And
me.
they're like, "How's Blubsky?" I'm like, "Oh, still broken."
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
that's like the closest
Sure do
tier.
love that car, but I
the
hate it at the
secret
same
the
time.
secret tier people don't know about.
Yeah, and I think now enough people have cycled through the community that I don't get that as much anymore. But like, definitely so many people still are like, oh, where's Ryan, when they see me and they don't say like hi to, and I'm just like,
that's
oh.
lame.
But now I'm
I really
finally
don't like that when people do that. Yeah.
I'm finally making my own friends, which I like, because they're into more niche cars than that.
Yeah, so like our friend group with Darren, so like Richard and people like that.
Exactly.
Oh,
Or
Mr.
like
Hawker.
Michael.
His kitties are so cute.
Yes.
And his chickens.
He's working his way into the friend group.
That's
That's a wonderful.
I'm bummed that we
friend
never
group,
actually hung out before this. You're pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm just super quiet and
Well,
antisocial. So.
we also,
Understandable.
I mean, also, like, he fits in the friend group perfectly because like brutalist architecture.
Right,
like,
yeah,
weird
because
shit
Richard's
like
done
that.
the show before, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I
Richard's
remember
been
that,
on.
yeah.
So Ellis works.
It was
for
a
everyone.
very unhealthy but wonderful show.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's a good thing that
I haven't listened to that one. I'll have to listen to that one.
It's a good thing that
it's a good-
Burger's not into film photography, because then I
Oh.
could.
I like darker manipulation. I enjoyed it, but no, digital is just easier.
But he does do photography, so it's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm into photography. It's just
When I was describing him to you,
Yeah.
I mentioned the Volvo Amazon and the Fiat Abarth, and I was like, and manual, and he's like, cool, all right.
Yeah, it doesn't take much for me to be like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're friends. This is
I
cool.
think he's passed his job interview.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was like the
Seattle guy.
we had that before Fast Cars, Slow Car Fast.
Yeah. Like literally before we started figuring it out, I'm like,
Dude,
I
I sat
mentioned
down
you
with
like,
a Hefeweizen, like we're good. If that was an IPA, I'd be like, you can leave.
yeah, like you sat down, and then Burger said Ralph Rapson. From there, you're just in.
All you gotta do is find that one common element. You're done.
Yeah, you're good.
If only dating was that easy, it'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
Right, like,
Sit
when
down. So, what do you think about Ralph Rapson, huh? You
When
seen
I-
that shit?
Actually,
Yeah,
no.
I need to start trying that.
To be
Really,
fair,
yeah.
dating is that easy. Because when I
It is
started
something.
dating Jana, I took my Subaru when I
Yeah.
could have easily taken any of my other cars. It broke down the side of the road. We'd wait for it to cool down and
Not
then
only
get back
did
to
it
class.
break-
So I should
down.
take the Mercedes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
like, not only did it break down on
That'd be
the
so
side of the
bad.
road, it broke down on the side of the road while he was driving me to visit like my dying grandmother. So it was like kind of just like
Yeah.
it was.
This car is a metaphor for my grandmother.
Yeah, it's like, oh, like this is great, like thanks. But I remember
Oh, I
when
feel
he
bad
first
about
introduced
laughing
me
at
to
that.
Eric, he was like, he likes cats, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I like cats, and like
That's
literally,
all there is to it. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not a complicated person.
we
Yeah.
literally just talked about cats, and then we were like, okay, we're
That's
friends.
still the case. I mean, that's why
Yeah.
they're
Yeah, that's what.
Jana arranged the jumbo Pushins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the normal
I
Pusheen.
appreciate that.
Oh yeah,
baby
and the
Pusheen.
bathroom Pusheen is still here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the bathroom Pusheen.
I,
He's got several
yeah.
Pusheens.
Okay.
I do like Pusheen the cat.
I found the second giant Pusheen for him at the
Oh,
Mall of America. and
I got a picture in like the middle of the night, and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah. I was like, Eric, you need
I
this.
wasn't in any shape to drive to the mall and buy it at that moment, but I was there like a week later for Benihana.
Yeah.
And I went to It's Sugar, and they're like, I asked. Like, I never ask store people about anything. Like, I'll struggle, not find it, and leave, and that's fine. But, like, I asked somebody, I'm like, do you have a really huge one of these Pusheens? Like, we did last week, but we're sold out, and they were an It's Sugar exclusive. I'm like, well, I believe you, because I've done some research, and that came up dry. But then I found one on Amazon, and I sent you a screenshot.
Yeah.
I'm like,
We were like,
Literally,
yes!
he bought this on Amazon, and it was
Oh
like,
my god! And like
the
Prime,
shit-
they just
yeah,
delivered it.
yeah, and they
giant
delivered it.
awesome.
boxes. I've
Giant
got
box.
unboxing videos for both of them.
And it is. You haven't felt this, but it is. That weighs as much as. Probably
Oh well, I
Jana.
saw it. I saw it thrown at you.
Yeah, it's
So-
not light.
It's,
I mean,
it's hefty.
It's taken a lot of, like, practice getting me to carry it, because when I first picked it up, I was, like, stumbling.
She actually
I
tipped
can-
over.
yeah.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
fell on the
it's
ground.
just-
But it's a really great thing to tip over on, too.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. This is now the Pusheen cast.
right.
Well, all right. So we have officially had almost our longest episode. We're at an hour and 32 minutes.
no, we've had 2 hour and some episodes.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah,
we have
I
the French
gotta, I
guy.
gotta roll. I gotta finish packing, honestly.
Yes, you
So,
do.
like,
So I'm gonna give this jumbo poutine to you, and
Uh-oh.
we're in the episode, and you're gonna.
And this is how we killed
He's
Dan.
dead now.
Anyway, that's in the episode. Thanks. Bye.
Oh, jeez, you can't catch me off guard like that. I gotta hit the off buttons.
We didn't